this thing on. I'm gonna throw you guys off a little bit. It is Sunday, but where am I here? I've got my $29, I don't know, grab bag special. It's Luca Vanetti, and actually I wish I would have gotten two, because I haven't seen them at 29 bucks again, and it's pretty nice. It's a nice smaller bowl for those times that I only feel like smoking for an hour instead of two. It's just a couple minutes before noon, I think, and the forecast for the next 10 days here has changed quite dramatically. Oh, I might mention, I don't have plum pudding either. This is 965, which is, I'd say my other favorite. Plum pudding and 965 seem to be up there, along with 1Q, but I don't know, aromatics in the morning, just, it's like having dessert for breakfast, so it doesn't, it just doesn't work for me. What was I saying? Oh, it's a couple minutes before noon, and the little thermometer that's right above my head says 94. The forecast today says 108. For tomorrow it says 110. And until Tuesday the 5th, it kind of follows that similar pattern. So when that happens in the Central Valley of California, we just kind of sit inside and air condition, I guess. I can already hear my neighbor's air conditioners buzzing away. I'm a little more frugal, so I'll keep my house around 80, which I know to some of you seems abominable, but I don't really like that much of a difference between the inside and outside temperature. And I like to be outside, so even if it's 100 and whatever, I still kind of cruise around in the yard and go back in, and that's how my weekends work. During the week, I'm fortunate enough to either work from my home office, which is independently air conditioned from the rest of the house, or I let one of the other offices that I'm in pay for my air conditioning. Anyway, the heat makes me angry, so I figured today would be a good time to give you a little blurb about one of my rants. Now, I'm not the most well-traveled person in the world, but been to several other countries. Australia and Germany being my most well-traveled. Been up through Canada a bit, and Poland, Japan. I think I'm at about 25 of the United States so far. So my goal is, by the time I die, to at least finish the United States. And maybe I'll hit up a couple more countries as well, but and I don't know if this problem is localized here. I live in the Central Valley of California, so my majority of my world is concentrated here, as it naturally becomes whenever we live somewhere. But it seems in most places of the world, if you're driving down the freeway and you have 2 or 3 lanes, that well, if you're in the United States and are on the left side of the vehicle, the far left lane is the faster of the lanes, and then the middle lane is kind of like the regular flow of traffic, and the far right lane is for those pulling trailers or trucks or people merging onto the freeway or some type of disruption that's happening. But I know in some other countries, if you're in we'll call it the fast lane, and somebody comes up behind you and you don't move over, that's technically illegal. And if you're in the slow lane and you want to pass somebody, you move over into the fast lane and you pass them. Well, in the Central Valley of California, the way that it works, at least I'm going to say I've noticed in the last 10 years, it's gotten really bad, but it seems that you just ride in the fast lane, no matter how fast you're going. Even if it's 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, you just stay in that fast lane. And it's just kind of customary, I guess, to fly around people on the right side, weaving in and out of the semis or whatever that are there in order to get in front of that person that's in the fast lane going too slow. Got a weak smoke stream here. Give me just a second. See if I can. Save it like that. So the other thing that happens, and I'm fully in the belief that we are currently in the age of entitlement. We just get what we want at whatever the cost. But even if you're in the fast lane, going with the flow of everybody else that's going in the fast lane, we'll just say 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, because that's kind of seems to be about the average here. And you've got your 2 to 3 second gap between you and the person in front of you, and you're staying at that speed. Chances are you're going to get cut off. There's too much of a gap, and the person behind you who is riding so close to you at 80 miles an hour needs to get to wherever they're going faster. So the fact that you have that 2 second cushion that you think is your safety cushion in front of you, that's space that they want. So they're just going to take it, and they'll fly around you in the right lanes, in the slower lanes, and just cut in front of you, usually not signaling. That way, I guess you're not supposed to be paying attention to the fact that they're just sneaking on in there. And why this angers me is because that's my space. And I'm keeping that space for a reason, and that reason is my safety and the safety of the people around me. because as that space gets smaller, reaction time can't keep up. Hey, oh. And then more accidents happen. So, I'm trying to figure out why this is. Are we just in such a rush? I mean, I work, and I usually have to be where I'm supposed to be on time, which I'm imagining that other people are supposed to be on time too. And I usually get there on time. Without playing this cutting everybody off on the freeway game. But it's gotten so bad that I almost feel like, well, here's my dilemma, right? Do I just play the game, or do I stick with my moral understanding of how society is supposed to work and continue to try to drive the way I do and try to keep the gaps that I want because that's what I feel safe. But by doing so, I just get cut off. I can be doing 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour in the fast lane, and some jackass is gonna fly across all the lanes of traffic to take that gap that I have just because, I don't know, maybe they're trying to get home because they've got some multi-player game that they're in a hurry to get to, or it's just annoying. Anyway, that's going to be my rant for this Sunday. Oh, I've somehow gathered, I don't know if that's the right term. There's been quite a few subscribing to me, and either I'm interesting, or the YTPC is strong enough, or you're bored enough to watch me, so I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm sure you will hear more rants from me because I definitely notice that I see things differently than the people that are in my general vicinity. At least the people that are within my general vicinity. So anyway, I'm going to finish this smaller bowl of 965 and head in the house because it's starting to climb up there today. 108's just around the corner. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Have a happy Sunday.